everyone who is here in this room, everyone who will listen to this at a later point in time, who energetically is being drawn into this room right now. We see you, we feel you, we love you. Welcome also to our dear subscribers, to the growing beingness that is forming between our consciousness planet-wide, the beingness of Ascension, that which once was a mystery, that which once was a closed circuit, is opening up as a path for many to walk, a path for all to walk, that choose so of their own free will, the path of those who feel the need of their soul, the calling of their soul, the soul that chooses to move. As we start today, I invite you to relax into your essence, relax into your vibratory state, and do this without judgment. Let everything that comes up in your mind, that comes up in your heart, and that comes up in your belly, wash over you. Simply allow yourself to be with yourself right now. And observe, be witness to your state of mind, the beating of your heart, and the rumbling of creation inside of your belly. These 3 points, these 3 chakras, is all that you will ever need when connecting to the universe, when connecting to all things around you and inside of you. Let go of the complexity of human spirituality, mind-made esoterics, and open yourself up to the simplicity of Ascension. Greetings to one and greetings to all. I am Lao Tze. I welcome you in this Mer-Ka-Ba field created in between the spaces, created in between the heartbeats, generated merely by the power of passion, the power of desire, only to be seen by those that look between the particles of reality, that dare to observe the emptiness of matter, that dare to overlook the illusion that is your physical reality. Welcome. As we sit in this conversation together that is taking place in many points in time and in a few points in space, including your very own now moment, I open the session with the first topic that I would like to address right now. And today we will generate a beingness, the beingness that you know often as the Akonaic, or in perhaps less Lemurian words, the head chakra, your first chakra. Hence, step with me into a meditation for the mind. It seems to be unusual for many people when we speak of mind, when we speak of the head chakra known as the Akonaic, not only because the words themselves are unknown, but because of the system, the modus operandi that you as a human being have been used to since the very beginning of your life, since your very first breath in your body. These systems we know of as the chakra system, the Akashic System, and all of these things that you have allowed yourself to believe, not merely about this reality, but about yourself, your very essence. You see, dear students, over the years you have allowed yourself to believe that it is all right to be tied down. More so, in fact, you have allowed yourself to believe that this is how energy works. Yes, you think that wires, energy lines come out of your belly. You think that energy lines come out of your heart and out of your head. In my opinion, it makes you look like a hedgehog often. All of these spikes coming off you from a universal perspective, it doesn't make it very attractive to connect to such a being. Not because we judge or want to complain, but what would you do if you saw a being standing in front of you with its natural defenses, or in this case, its unnatural defenses, up? Most of the time, you would decide to move on, to move into a safe zone, further away from a being like that. For you see, using the systems that you have used all of your life in your spiritual quests that I have now mentioned earlier, you generate unknowingly a web of entanglement, not merely between yourselves, but between you as a collective species and those forces that come with the nature of illusion inside of your universe, that have been purely generated to take advantage of this confusion of entanglement that you have generated. You believe energy lines between people, between things and events and thoughts and belief systems is a good thing. You believe it is good to unify and assemble with those of like thought, those of like heart, and those of like creation. And this is to an extent true. But having allowed yourself to generate within you a system that is not natural to you, allows your energy, your personal energy, to move through the universe, through creation itself, hopping in and out of your body, cycling in and out of the Mer-Ka-Ba, that is you, much like money moves around on the stock market when you think that you have safely put it away and stored it somewhere in a bank or in some property or in some land. This reflection of energy that you work with every day is similarly to be found in the higher essences that make up you. And there as well, you find energy, your own personal life force, swirling around, moving through the system, the network of entanglement, over and over again, several thousand times per second. At that vibratory rate, of course, it is very difficult for you, for anyone, to notice what is happening. Is it not so that you believe in a solid universe? Is it not so that you believe in the chair underneath you as an object of solid matter, without ever truly realizing, beyond the capacity of the mind at least, that what is happening is a vibratory process of energy reverting to matter, reverting to energy, over and over again, so many times in the cycle of 1 second, that you can allow yourself to be fooled into the thought that the solid universe exists. How does this happen? One wonders. The answer is simple. You burden yourselves with karma. You burden yourselves with the Akashic record. You burden yourselves with the chakra system. You burden yourselves with archetypes, illusions, and so many more things that over time the gravity of this material realm, this reality field in which you sit, becomes much like the power of a planet such as Saturn, capturing its moons, its rings, unable to find escape from this. Over several lifetimes, several incarnations, you end up giving in to this system. Indeed, you end up celebrating it, rejoicing in it. And as such, the world of things came along. And with the world of things, the belief, the idea of externalization quickly formed and happened in front of your very eyes, over and over again each day, and within each day, each hour, and within each hour, every single second. This cycle of removing your energy from you, piping it through the entire universal stock market system, let's say, and ultimately manifesting these objects in front of you, the things that you want, the things that you need, the things that you so want to purchase and attain, weigh you down further and further. Ultimately, your sensory ability that comes naturally within the Mer-Ka-Ba state gets lost, and that which you call your 5 senses are trained only to see that which you are made to believe is real. There is no judgment on these things, no negativity. It is a mere observation. Observe then your life. Observe then that which you have collected around you Observe then the energy around these things. Witness their entanglements with you. Witness your entanglements with them. It is often hard for people to understand the nature of archetype. And this is not out of the norm, considering that which you have been taught to be your reality. But for those seekers, initiates, ascendees, who seriously consider the vector of ascension, it becomes clear quickly that nothing exists outside of the self. Therefore, nothing can be judged outside of the self. Consider that. So, a meditation for the mind. Those who walk the ascension path while desperately meaning and trying to exist in their heart space will often find themselves in the head. But are they inside of the Akonai? I ask. The Akonai in ancient Lemurian translates simply as the memory of the now. Yes, the now moment has memory. It consists of all things that you are, all things that you have witnessed and experienced, everything you have ever thought, every action you have ever taken. And while the physical matter that surrounds you may look similar day after day, unless of course you decide to make physical changes to it, not so from the perspective of Akonai. You see, as the universe, as reality around you recreates itself at such a high pulse, thousands of times in every second, you have two options. You allow the manifestation to exist the way you have always known it, or you invite reality to exist the way it exists. And there is a difference. Illusion may be powerful. Illusion may seem unbreakable. It may appear indivisible, impenetrable to break down. But it only is what it is. Illusion. It runs on its standard settings, based on your own personal Akashic record, pulling up attributes that you have externalized throughout your lifetimes, creating for you, in effect, a type of golden cage. The Akashic record, while being so praised within your spiritual circles in the 21st century on your planet, from the perspective and the perception of ascension is nothing but a list of chains, a list of disempowerment, an overview of all the belief systems that your personalities throughout the lives have taken on board as theirs. A list of ingredients of mind and matrix and matter that time and time and time again lock you in. Similarly to the more ethereal aspect of the self that with each lifetime brings back certain qualities like music or craftsmanship. Any of these things, so too brings the Akashic record into your life with every incarnation, the exact settings, the exact circumstances, and indeed the exact things that will allow you, with a guarantee that goes far beyond the 99% range, to be locked down, to be locked in to your life and your expression of personality over and over again. The Akonaic essence that is your first chakra, however, need not go in that direction. Within the memory of the now is stored your entire beingness. Every moment that you have experienced on this planet of consciousness, or should I say in some cases, fleeting consciousness, no matter, even the singlest millisecond in your day that you might have achieved during your meditation or your observation of nature or the mere power of the heart, a state of consciousness is stored there. These internalized attributes are projected onto the Mer-Ka-Baic wall and form, in essence, the particles, the vibratory matter that makes up your reality. So you see, both in the Akashic state and in the Akonaic state, reality is not what it appears. Matter in both states appears to you as matter, but its building blocks are very different in each state. In the former state, we observe these building blocks being generated from outside of you. In the latter state, we see these building blocks being generated from within. When properly accessing the Akonai, one can surround oneself with a reality purely generated by the sovereign self. When this occurs, you open the door and pave the way for the heart space the Akashic, and the belly space, the Adonai, to function at maximum capacity. It is this that functioned within you as a very young child, when you still had the ability to observe the world as magical. For indeed it was. From within the Akashic mind state, obviously, these memories go away. But not so long ago, when your bodies were only 1/3 of the size they are now, at the start of your lives, this observation of reality, pre-language, pre-understanding other people, pre-understanding that there were even other people surrounding you, would be the natural state of beingness. And within that state, within that understanding of matter, where now we no longer observe dead matter vibrating, but instead particles infused with the power of tonality, a universe brought into breath by your very observation of it. Magic surrounds you everywhere. Objects, not things, objects become objective. They allow communication between you and your very essence, considering you are the creator of these things, you are the creation of these things, it is the creator of you, you are the creator of it. And this, you see, is how things become objects. When this occurs, the Akonaic, the pineal gland, the power of the brain, the power of holographics line up and becomes yours to work with. So then, people ask, knowing these pieces of information, how can they be applied? And I, Lao Tze, tell you, there is only one application, and the application is Ascension. Why? Simple. When existing within the Akashic record, where literally the sins of your past lives, if I may go biblical for a moment, form your surrounding landscape, pulling you back to personality-ridden desire. It is impossible, almost, to reach the so-called magical reality state. And from that perspective, life is lived, repeating over again the same cycle of the birth of man, the fall of man, the birth of man, the fall of man, and so on and so on. So students step onto the ascension path and find themselves surrounded by a complexity, not of information only, but a complexity of errors, mistakes, hiccups, hitting the wall over and over again in seemingly an infinite array of errors. Indeed, perhaps a comedy of errors when observed from a neutral perspective. But, student, understand this and take this away, if anything is taken away from this meditation for the mind. There is but one mistake. There is but one mistake. It manifests itself in many different forms, many different belief systems, through the Akashic record, as the list builds and grows. But the mistake is always the same. It is the mistake of the mind. It is the mistake of a finite creation that must, by the necessity of its own nature, adhere to a total destruction and a total recreation several thousand times a second. And this is the drama of finite existence. This is the drama of mental existence. So you can ask, what is the problem then? Let me summarize. The problem of the Ascension student in the first Kakra is one of consistency, is one of continuity. What do these words mean? Is it possible for a human mind to be consistent, to be continuous? Is it not so that at least once every 2 cycles you seem to shut yourself down, go into any arena that will have you at that point in time, which you call sleep, only to be returned here, start the same thing all over again? Yes, that is the truth. But that also, dear student, is the mind's greatest belief system, the mind's greatest trap. The idea of its own finite nature. Your mind, as it operates day to day, second to second, cannot go beyond the limitation of this cycle of birth and destruction and birth and destruction, which, as I have mentioned, happens so many thousands of times. And where this is, for the Akashic personality, it's falling. For the ascending Akonaic personality, this can mean it's rising. It is within these points in time where technically the illusory universe does not exist, that the Akash can be broken, the Akonai can emerge. So the power of consistency The power of continuity is to be found within the choice to not be destroyed, within the choice to not embrace the illusion of death as mind does so many thousands of times per second. Continuity and consistency means observing the magical reality, the Akonaic reality. The reality that has been discussed so many times over since the mystery schools on your planet and before. It is always to appear so elusive to so many. In this way, can easily be accessed. But continuity and consistency are not easy tools to work with from an Akashic place of destruction and rebirth. In other words, it takes another C. It takes courage to step away from destruction. It takes courage to step away from death. It takes courage to step away from slavery. It takes courage to step away from a system, an entangled web, where the belief systems that are shared with those around you create the illusion of security, the illusion of safety. When the mind, when the first chakra is in Akashic mode, you will learn that your chakra itself can be divided into 4 different quadrants. These are 4 states through which the karmic energy cycles many thousands of times a second again, in order to be able to take your life force energy down to the state where matter can be created from it. You will learn more about these things as time goes on. But matter cannot be created from you, let alone be taken from you, within the Akonaic state of consistency and continuity. Of course, this is a meditation for the mind. This is not an exercise for the mind. So for now, we will keep it at the theoretical level, if you will, for you to contemplate these notions, for you to see what will come back to you after properly allowing yourself some time to consider this shift in the head. It can feel hazardous to step away from the known path onto the unknown vector of ascension. It can feel dangerous even to allow yourself to remove everything from you that in essence made you the human being within the human society that you are and exist in. The liberation, dear students, only follows after. However, for all out there that would claim that the Ascension path is littered with minefields, littered with drones of thought attacking you left and right, take away from this and learn from this and remember forever that those on the Ascension path in the head chakra only know one mistake: lack of consistency, lack of continuity, based upon a self-destructive and self-recreative mental universe of illusory matter. Once these things are let go of and you step into the object of your passion, the objective of your vector, Ascension indeed becomes relatively painless, relatively easy, and relatively fluid. So are you one that suffers from mood swings? Are you one that suffers from ups and downs? Are you one that allows the thoughts that come into the head to be the identity of the self? Then understand that with a mere practice of continuity and consistency, one can learn very quickly that the minefield of thousands of different things that apparently could go wrong on the path are to be reduced to one in many ways. Take this away from this meditation for the mind. When next we speak together, you and I, we will evaluate where you find yourself within the process of moving from the Akashic to the Akonaic. When that move, dear student, will have completed itself, you will find for you a pathway that opens up, that is individually and sovereignly yours, where the illusions that seemingly capture you today will be the very things that end up setting you free. When the things that surround you will turn into the objects generated by you. When the thoughts that surround you will turn into the song of the heart. We will speak of these things again. Until that time, consistently practice consistency. Continuously practice continuity. Allow yourself to no longer fall for the trap of Akashic sin and personality recreation. And get to know your mind in a new way, in a gentle way, in a co-creative way.